We are back at the world famous SEMA Show, documenting every single Toyota build here at the show. I'm talking Land Cruisers, Sequoias, Tundras, Tacomas, and even some 4Runners, showcasing the latest and greatest and best things in the world of Toyota. Stay tuned as I document every single one. I'm not talking about 5 or 10, I'm talking about dozens of these rigs at the SEMA Show. If you want to see the newest and latest and greatest products and great builds, stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this video. This is my favorite Tundra build of the entire show. This is Camzilla, built by Complete Customs out of Texas. Let's just start with the front area and work our way back. You got the ADD off-road bumper with the rigid light bar right here. That is all like, oh, pretty basic, but then you notice, why is this thing so wide? Oh, because it's got a Fiberworks fiberglass wide body kit on the front and the back. But that's not all. This is a 1794 edition, which gets you all the trim packages that you would ever want on the interior, including some brown saddle leather seats. And then we have the first production ever of the Camberg upper control arms, Fox racing shocks, all in order to fit 39-inch BFGs and some Vossen HFX1 wheels. Those are really sick. Now, when we start making our way back, we got rigid lights on the top, rigid 360s on the side. This wrap is just fantastic. I love the design. And then we get to some awesome goodies. This is the longer bed Tundra that has the full JL audio system right here. You got the full camp kitchen setup. This folds up and that closes down on the RSI Smart Cap. But that's not all. Alu cab, you got the 360-degree awning, you got the alu cab rooftop tent, you got some kayaks on top, and we're still working our way back. Now check out this mountain bike system. It mounts to the rack itself. So if you wanted to tow something with this, you could still do it easily because that ADD off-road bumper is exposed and you could use that to tow a trailer as well. We're gonna keep on going on the other side. On this RSI Smart Cap, there's 2 storage units on both sides. One is a kitchen. This one is for all your tools and accessories, all laser cut, so everything is in its place. This closes down, up and out of the way, and you would never know that this is an extreme off-road vehicle. And in the back, there's a deck system and all sorts of cool stuff that we can't do right now because of the mountain bikes, but Complete Customs did a ridiculous job on Camzilla. This thing is 2 thumbs up. Oh, one last thing. How does it maintain balance with all of this additional weight on the back? Oh, airbags, of course, because why not? Really awesome build. I love it. I want it. I want it. I want it. Sometimes at SEMA you find these hidden gems that you didn't look for it, but all of a sudden you saw it. Right here I saw the 6.2 liter supercharge. We know this because that's what is on every Ram 1500 TRX. So I double checked, and underneath the hood here, you can see it is a Hellcat indeed. 6.2 liters of supercharged awesomeness on this Toyota Tacoma. Pre-runner, Camberg wheels and tires. We got Warn locking rear axles, Volk racing wheels, Toyo MT tires, long travel kit, wide body. Everything on this was modified. You can't even open up the hood. I don't even know how you would do it, but this thing is all custom. I bet it goes 150 miles an hour in the desert. Check out this roof rack light system. You got some Baja designs in there, tucked in, really, really cool and clean. PRP racing seats, and even a little handbrake for good measure. You can even see the Hellcat shifter in there, a death grip, steering wheel in the back. This is all heavy duty loaded up. Look at the fuel tank on this thing, nuts. A ton of custom work. ME50, the wide body. This Tacoma is the Tacoma that your girlfriend warned you about. This is a $200,000 rig, easy, maybe even more. All King shocks. Looks like a ground up chassis. If you were to take a regular Tacoma and put a 702 horsepower engine into it, it would explode. Like it just, you got to redo everything from the ground up. This build is nuts. I got to see some videos of it. Send me a link if you guys have seen this Tacoma out doing crazy things, because I want to see it. It wouldn't be a every Toyota video without our 2024 TRD Pro Sequoia. This is Vulcan, the god of fire, and our current giveaway rig. On November 21st, we're giving this thing away, so there's still a couple days to enter. We got the CBI off-road bumper with the rigid 360 lights, a 1 of 1 and Nosatech wrap. We just got back from the 4x4 rally to SEMA on the way to Las Vegas. We got the OEM side steps, the Black Rhino Vol wheels, Falcon tires, Icon, Stage 10 3.0 series shocks with upper and lower billet control arms. This thing is a beast. I can't forget the Overland Rough Racks rack system, the Pelican cases, and more. This is a one-of-a-kind Toyota that you could win only by going to Forge 4x4. This thing is nuts, and I can't believe we're giving it away, but we are. On to the next one. We're in the Hankook tire booth with Zachary Deal's Land Cruiser. This is a first-gen Land Cruiser, twin-turbo, 4-cylinder that I talked to him yesterday. He said even with 35s on it, this thing rips. The turbos spool up. There's plenty of power for all of you thinking that this thing isn't gonna have enough power. Now, what I really like about this build is the Descent off-road kit on here. This front bumper conforms to the body lines, has the integrated rigid light bar that is super clutch. And up top, check out this rack. I like how the rack is almost like a turtle shell, kind of comes across, gives you a little bit of extra protection. Still, you can load it up. You got the side lights right here, a front light bar. So when you're on the trail, this is really gonna shine. These are really clean side steps. And then on the back is probably the best part in my opinion. This swing out rear bumper, not only do you have a full-size spare tire, a power tank, a roto pack. Don't do this at home, kids. I got permission from Zach. This thing opens up, and instead of having a little clamp right here that locks it in place that always tends to break, you could soft close it. But real quick before I do that, check this out. An additional storage unit right there, pretty sweet. So when you close it, that's it. How sick is that? Both of these swing out, give you access to the back. Awesome build, check him out, Zachary Deal. You probably know him from Instagram. Solid dude that creates some really cool content. And this Land Cruiser is mwah, mwah. We're in the Top Street Performance booth with an awesome Tacoma here. I really like the CBI off-road side steps. You got the whole Kuwait system on the back of that rack. Up top, we got the KC highlight light bar right there. Roverall rooftop tent. I haven't seen those guys before. These grab handles by Prinsu are pretty rad. We got a big ladder right here. I really like this system to mount your mountain bikes on the molly panels themselves or on the rack is really cool. And then on the other side, you got a high lift jack, a little Chase light bar right here. Everything else looks relatively stock. And for suspension, of course, Kings seem to be the star of the show with some Icon Vehicle Dynamics, lower control arms, all billet. Cool Tacoma. Roverall. We're in the ARB booth with a Land Cruiser with one of the coolest bumpers I've seen. This thing has a full brush guard. No deer is gonna stand a chance. These huge LED ARB lights. You got the Warren winch integrated into this thing, but check out the side of it. So if you're one who's worried about banging up your body, with this additional tube right here, you're able to protect everything up front and absolutely send it on this thing. We got a little PPF that might be from the factory. Up top, the base rack system with the Nacho lights is really cool. Method racing wheels, and then you got some snowboard mounts up there, and then in the back we got a little fridge freezer. That thing is huge, takes up the whole back, but why not? Politics may be rife with controversy, but there's one thing we can all agree on that you need to write your local congressman about. Bring the Hilux back to the United States of America, or bring it to the United States of America. It is an outrage that this thing is not available in the US market, especially one as built at like this. This is the Air Design Toyota Hilux that is just decked out to the nines. I really like that front bumper. These little flares right here allow you to be very streamlined. You got the snorkel, you got the rack up top. In the back, you got a full rack system with some Max Trax traction boards right here. Overall, the biggest thing that I'm going to take away from this is I want one in the United States and I want it now. So write your congressmen, women, and men and tell them. Otherwise, we're just not going to get it. This is the RPM Off-Road Garage Land Cruiser, which is a little bit smaller than the Lexus GX550, but it's a really clean build. There's not a ton of aftermarket parts for these things yet as they just hit the market, but this front bumper is super clean. I like how it conforms to the body of the Land Cruiser. Descent off-road on there, Baja design lights, plenty of light for you all the way up and down. You got a Taruka awning that pops out, and then I'm assuming that's a rooftop tent as well on top of the rack, which is a Pro Speed rack. That thing is really cool because of how low profile it is. That thing is not sticking up way up and out of the way, so you can load it up without being too top heavy. I really like this build. I like the Land Cruisers, and I want to know, should we give away a Land Cruiser? Let me know in the comments. This is the Dynapro Land Cruiser. I love the color on this thing. You got some raised white wheels, which You got 35-inch hand-cooked tires on there, Beltec springs on it. You got some side steps that are Westcott designs. I really like the rack with the 23-0 awning, KC highlights integrated. But what I really like about this Land Cruiser is the bumper. Check this out. Kind of hard to see, but you got the integrated KC highlight light bar right here, a Warren winch. I like this removable thing. Looks like it's heavy duty. You can bang that thing up, but also looks stock-ish, still conforms to the body line of the Land Cruiser. This is a really sick build. We got a Lexus GX550 behind us with a nice little solar panel on top. You got raised wheels, Radflow suspension. Looks like everything on the body itself is mostly stock, but you got a rack up here that I'm not sure what this company is. If anyone knows what this logo is, let me know. Really sleek looking rack. Molly panels on the side, rooftop tent that looks like it needs to be put out a little bit. The Lexus GX550, is it the next future of overlanding vehicles? I don't know. I like them though. We're in the all-top Overland booth with a previous gen Tundra. If you love V8s, you're gonna love this thing. You have the awning that just pops out right here. I like that it's a little bit lower profile than the Batwings. The Batwings sometimes are a little bit too big, but you got a really cool rooftop tent. You got the Go Rhino side steps, the Ironman 4x4 bumpers, and then look at this setup in the back. If you don't want to have room in your back, maybe you want to sleep in there or have a ton of gear, this is a cool solution that just goes right into the tow hitch. Nice little, trash bag / gear bag on the back, full-size spare tire. And then I like this canopy as well because you could have a pass-through. There's a little window right there. And the tent looks like a pretty standard clamshell tent, but all top 4x4 accessories. Hey, are you enjoying this awesome content? Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon because we're going to be producing over 10 videos throughout the course of SEMA this week. And if you subscribe and leave a comment in any of our videos, you're automatically entered to win a free Roam Adventure cooler. We're giving away a bunch of them to our fans and anyone who watches our content throughout the show. Check out this 3rd gen supercharged Tacoma here. You got the V6, but with a ProCharger supercharger on it. You got a carbon fiber hood, a super rad bumper that I like a lot. I'm not sure who makes that, but you got the Baja design lights in there on the side. We got the raised white wheels, which is definitely a look, but I think it works on this rig. A cool wrap. That Tone Girls Taco, that one girl's taco, got it. You got 2 full-size spares in the back. You got long travel kit with Kings. That is definitely gonna hit the trail pretty well. L4 rear bumper. I'm assuming the front is a L4 as well. Looks like a Tacoma Beast build. This thing's pretty sweet. It'd be super fun to take out. This overlanding Land Cruiser is sick. For starters, you have the carbon fiber hood right here, enough lights to power a small city. You got a Warren winch on front of this Descent off-road bumper. Those guys do some really fantastic work. I like these little integrated turn lights in the bumper itself, and the Baja Designs little pod light right here. The fog lights are nice and flush, which is rad. You got LP9s, these things are huge. And then on the side, you got 35-inch Kumo tires, which I have never run those before. Wheels, we got the Volk racing wheels. Those are forged and super rad. The Dobinson's suspension setup with the adjustable reservoir shocks right there. You got some tube plates with the ROF, but up top, you have the Rhino rack with the Kamek little hammock, or the Kamek awning that pulls out, but check out the back. This is another Descent off-road rear bumper, so all of this swings out. It's a lot of weight back there, but everything is really level, which I like a lot. I like this. Clean air access, okay. No, it's just for overland vehicles. So I don't think this is a clean air vehicle, but it has a V8, so that's nice. And check out this little storage solution. Yoda Tech, open this up. You got a little storage, Molly panels in there. I'm not gonna open it because it's not my rig, but it's pretty sweet. Behind me, we got a really cool Deutsch off-road build. Who knew that they were gonna get into the Land Cruiser market, but rightly so. Up front, we have the Rago front bumper that is really clean. I like the integrated KC highlight light bar right there. The color pattern on the wrap is fantastic. You got the KC highlights up top, and then this Rago rack is one of the cleanest ones that I've seen. Conforms to the body lines, looks really awesome, has Molly panels on the side. They got the black Rhino. I believe these are Sentinel wheels with some Dobinson suspension set up on the back. And then look at this Rago rear bumper. I think Rago is gonna definitely crush when this hits the market. Land Cruiser built by Deutsch Off-Road. Behind me is the Rocks Concept Land Cruiser by Toyota. This thing is rad. 37-inch tires. They chopped the back as an ode to the tradition of Land Cruisers having the open top. I think this could be a real competitor to Broncos and Jeeps if they end up doing a production model of it. The back flips over into a truck bed. I love the chopped doors on it. It looks really clean and menacing. 37-inch tires is a great setup for this. Even with the twin turbo 4-cylinder, you still have enough power to get those going if you re-gear. You got the full-size tire on the back. The interior custom work on the leather is fantastic. It's so clean and beautiful in person. I wish you guys were here to see it. This might be the best Land Cruiser build at the show. Westcott Designs put this thing together in 90 days. Pre-runner concept that has Sparco race seats, rigid lights, brand new rigid pod lights up here that are insane. You got a roll cage in the back. Everything on this is custom, including the long travel kit underneath. Really insane build in the back here. You got seating for 3 because you don't need 2 seats when you have that much suspension. You got the full-size spare in the back here, and overall, just like really clean build. So cool and fun. Westcott Designs did this in 90 days. That's wild. We're got a sweet Tacoma build, this little overlanding setup with the carbon fenders right here. I'd like to see a little bit bigger wheels and tires, but what are you gonna do? These will get the job done. Those are LT 285s. Terrain Attack tires on there. The BA4 side steps are really clean. I like how nothing pops out, so it's not gonna get caught up on rocks. And in the back, you have the Tough Stuff rooftop tent. Look at this canopy setup, the Tough Stuff Overland. This pops up, which allows you access into the back, and looks like either aluminum or stainless steel. The BA4 rear tire carrier is rad. Overall, really cool build. I would like to see this rack way closer to the body because that thing is like a sail, but overall, you could have some really fun adventures in this rig. Icon vehicle dynamic suspension throughout, and front bumper is a BA4 off-road bumper too. We're in the Toyota booth with a relatively stock Land Cruiser right here. The Prinsu rack is really clean. I like this Molly panel on the side. It's actually huge, covers the entire window. You got some Pelican cases on top, and in the back, we got this Yakima storage system, which is really rad. I could see Overlanders using this, really sweet. Overall, the Land Cruisers are rad. It's hard for me to tell the difference between a Land Cruiser and a GX550. However, twin turbo 4-cylinder versus a twin turbo V6, I'm gonna go with the Lexus. However, this thing looks pretty clean and is about $40,000 cheaper. All right, we got a 4Runner behind us that I guarantee you haven't seen before. This is the Surf concept that has the removable top. Up front, it looks like the new 4Runners, but in the back is where all the magic happens. The top pops up, mount some surfboards on it or other stuff, or just go on a great adventure with a family in your 4Runner that is also a convertible. Interesting concept. I don't know if they'll actually mass produce this. However, I think it's pretty cool and someone would definitely like it. This is the all-new 2025 4Runner with the Trail Hunter package. You got a snorkel right here. You got the back window that rolls down. It tows 6,000 pounds with the twin turbo 4-cylinder. I like these bronze wheels and the color is really rad. The 4Runner, let me know. Should we build one and give it away? I don't know. Should we? All right, we got the brand new Tacoma. This is the Pro Runner race concept vehicle that looks awesome. Not only do you have some huge 35-inch BFGs on there, The back headache rack is pretty cool. 84 Johnson on the ARB headache rack. You got a fuel tank in the back there and a full-size tire. No need for a tailgate because you're gonna have to switch that tire out when you're burning up the dirt on the trails. It's pretty cool. And then over here, we got another Tacoma that's more of an overlanding setup. You got the full, it looks like ARB rack right here. The only thing I don't like about it, I like my back covered. If this is open on your rack, everything back here is gonna get dirty, but you got some Pelican King cases mounted on the side and the top. You got a full awning over there, the ARB fridge freezer combo. Some cool, I like these side steps, just OEM, and then up front, it's your standard Tacoma or the new gen Tacoma. I really like that Tacoma rack too. Really clean, conforms to the body line with the Yakima road shower. Overall, a great little overlanding setup for you Tacoma enthusiasts. On to the big boys, the Tundra lineup with the iForce Max twin turbo V6. This is the 1794 edition, which we gave away last year. A similar make and model. You get the brown saddle leather interior, really cool. But in the back, this concept vehicle has the tailgating masterpiece. 6 screens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens. I mean, why not? When you're setting up to watch the big game, might as well set this thing up and watch 5 games at once, because that's what you do at tailgates. Have fun. So the only Sequoia in the Toyota booth is this iForce Max Platinum Edition, the TRD Sport. It's not Platinum, it's a TRD Sport. You got a little bit of an overlanding setup here. I don't feel like it's that crazy. I like the awning with a Prinsu rack. You got the Molly panels on the side. The hammock is pretty cool. That actually hangs on the rack itself. That tucks up and away. This is a pretty cool modification. I'm a little disappointed there's not more Sequoias, but if you want to see ours, just go to the Optima booth, and or probably already showed it in this video, but you get the idea. For you mid-size and smaller crossover enthusiasts, this is the RAV-X by Toyota, not the RAV4, the RAV-X. Built for Dakar and actually racing in desert environments. Cool little compact, but it still rips on the trails. I like the wrap, but overall I think they're trying to just eat away at the Subaru enthusiasts out there with this RAV-X by Toyota. We got the classic adventure Land Cruiser here, very sleek, not a ton of modifications. This I could foresee someone wanting as a daily driver, but also taking it on the trails occasionally. You have a pretty robust rack system up here with some side lights that are cool. The KC Highlight light bar. I like those wheels a lot, very classy and cool. The little lines right here with the wrap just bring some nostalgia back. But overall, a pretty mellow build. It just looks pretty cool, and I think a lot of people would want to use this as a daily driver. The one that started it all, this vintage Land Cruiser, is very clean. Got some rock chips on there. You know, these guys take it off-roading. Not a ton of modifications or things to talk about on it. We just love our old Land Cruisers. Behind me, I don't really know what to say about this Modelista Land Cruiser. It is something out of Blade Runner. It looks very futuristic. It's an Overland Vision concept vehicle with a ton of armor everywhere around the vehicle. You got a really sleek rack system. I don't know what that does. Do you have a platform that you could dance on? I don't quite get that. The side storage / Molly panel might just be some decoration. I think it's more of a concept vision as opposed to functionality, but looks pretty cool. Definitely probably find it in a futuristic sci-fi film in the near future. Oh, Witawata, little Witawata. All right, we got a 2024 Tacoma here with some Bayer disc brakes. You got the new Flowmaster Signature Series exhaust that you can see down there. A really cool wrap, pre-runner concept that has little, not even really a headache rack. I think this is more just for display purposes, but 2 spare tires in the back. Suspension setup is all the ADS reservoir shocks right there. ADS looks like billet control arms. A cool little build in the Holley Performance booth. I'm in love with this Lexus. This is the GX550 with some Maxxis tires on here. You got Method Racing wheels in bronze. I like the mix between the white, black, and bronze that they have going on. The night-top front bumper is super clean. Look how low profile that is with some Baja design lights right there. The rack is a Westcott Designs rack. You got some Rome cases up there, and then these night-top side steps are super clean too. Really rad. We bought a Lexus GX550 and it's gonna look similar to this, but a different color, and I'm really excited about this platform because it has the same powerhouse as the Tundra and the Sequoia, not the hybrid yet, but that twin turbo V6 packed into a Lexus GX550 is nice. We got a Trail Hunter Tacoma here with a ton of carbon fiber. You got the stock snorkel, which I think is a cool look, protects from some of the dust, and if you happen to do some water fording, you could do that. You got the CBI side steps that are my favorite side steps on the Tacoma. The additional carbon fiber on the fenders. You got the raised wheels on there. Looks like those are forged. This Prinsu rack is awesome. Not only because you could have additional storage, it mounts your LP4 lights on there by Baja Designs. You got a full awning right here, an Evolution V2 rooftop tent by FSR, and then in the back, the CBI off-road rack system. I'd love to see a tonneau cover, but you got some Pelican cases and you can still access everything. Max tracks on this side, some additional jerry cans on the other side. Really clean build that I also really like this color wrap. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I missed this, but the CBI off-road front bumper is sick because it still maintains the body line and the original structure of the Tacoma itself, but you can add a winch in here, some light bars, and it just looks so clean. I've seen people mount lights right here as well, which is a really cool solution, but this is a really awesome build. We're in the TN booth with a Tacoma that is decent build. You got the RSG side steps right here. Looks like a Prinsu rack, which is pretty standard, but the suspension setup, upper billet control arms, and then some heavy duty shocks. I don't know much about them, but it looks pretty cool. I'd love to see how it works on the road. You got aftermarket bumper right here. I'm not sure what it is, but with the integrated Baja Designs light bar, pretty sweet. Are you looking for a little bit more power on your Land Cruiser? Well, AFE has a solution with you. With the cold air intake, some charge hoses down there, you're gonna be able to get anywhere from 30 to 40 more horsepower and some additional torque. This is their Land Cruiser that they built for the show. There's a couple new products. This front bumper is the TerraGuard bumper. You could never have too many lights, and I like how if you were to hit something on the road, this thing is gonna take the brunt of it. You have the Momentum GT cold air intake right here. You got the Icon Vehicle Dynamics wheels, and then this is a new product, the TerraGuard side steps. Up top, you got a Lightner rack with some Lightner storage solutions. Looks like those lock in place, which is pretty cool. You got the Molly panels on the side for some roto packs, and in the back, you have the rigged spare tire carrier. I love this for the main fact that you could take it out whenever you're not off-roading. And in the back, we got the Nomad kitchen. You know we love the Nomad kitchen. We've ran it a bunch. A little Dometic fridge freezer that you could pull out. Really cool Land Cruiser build by AFE Power. In the Airlift Performance booth, we have a Tundra here with a really awesome ADD off-road front bumper. I like how the rigid light bar conforms to the body shape of that bumper. You got an integrated winch, and then the wheels, I'm not 100% sure what wheels these are. I can't even read it. Fittipaldi wheels that are really clean. And then we got the Mazilla upper control arms with King shocks. No side steps on this one, but we got the Prinsu rack and the full Lightner setup. I like this solution for storage. It's modular design. You can move it around. You got storage racks on top as well, and then a full bed slide in the back. But overall, cool build. Looks like more of a daily driver. We're in the Alpha Rex booth with a Tacoma Beast Tacoma. This thing has the C4 fabrication front bumper that's really clean. Of course, the brand new Alpha Rex front headlights and rear headlights. We got Baja Designs lights with the Baja Design light bar. I like this little light bar mount. I like how you don't need a full rack if you don't want it. You could just mount your lights right there. The C4 side steps right here, really clean. I like, again, I'm gonna say this a lot, I don't like side steps that just stick out, that gets caught up in rocks. I like that you could go up and over and it still protects your body. You have Vossen wheels on here. We ran these before on our Ram 1500 TRX. These are the HFX ones, really clean in the bronze. And then you have Camberg lower control arms. I'm not sure what the suspension setup is, and then a Kuwait rack on the back. That is a really clean rack, tons of MOLLE panels. You could mount a bike right here. We got the FSR tent that flips all the way over, and then in the back to put the cherry on top, a C4 fabrication rear bumper. Really cool build at the Alpharex booth. We're in the real truck booth with Bear Grylls' Tacoma. This thing has an awesome front bumper that conforms to the body lines of the rig itself, which I love. A little cover right here in case you get any little buggies in there. Of course, Bear, what's up, dude? You got the side steps that are really clean. We have Raceline wheels on there. It looks like just some 33-inch Toyo tires. All the suspension is stock, but this is a cool product. So this headache rack makes it so you don't lose your tonneau cover. It actually bolts right into there, which is pretty sweet. Bear Grylls Tacoma. We're in the Weston Super Winch booth with a really cool Tacoma. There's some things I want to point out on this. This front bumper is heavy duty, but still you don't have to chop the body at all. You can have a Super Winch placed right underneath there, tucked in and out of the way. You got some Baja design lights right there on the side and in the back. Check out this rack system. Look how low profile it is, which is something I always look for, and is very, very aerodynamic. Got some grab handles up there, throw your bikes on the top. And in the back, we have a cool canopy system with storage on one side. This flips up and over, and then you can still have a rack and additional storage on top. Wheels and tire combo, it looks like Tri-PR King shocks. Overall, that's pretty cool. Look at these side steps too. These are the Weston side steps. I like how they come down. They still don't stick out too much, and this is gonna be the lowest point that's gonna hit on rocks first, so it doesn't damage your vehicle. On the back, on the other side, you gotta check this out. A little first aid kit, a super winch, an additional storage for your storage, or no, a little table that pops out. That is pretty sick. This all tucks in and up out of the way. Weston did a good job with this. Looks lightweight, maybe aluminum or stainless steel. Really cool. This rear bumper is sick too. We're in the R booth with a really cool Tacoma. You got the old man emu setup on the suspension, some tubular upper control arms. That's gonna make sure you're staying on the trail and where you wanna be. These pod lights are nacho pod lights. Up top, we got the ARB. I knew it was ARB the whole time. I was tricking you. For 2 years ago, you guys commented on that. The base rack system with full storage units up there. And then check out this canopy slash cover fiberglass. Gives you a little bit extra room. And what I like about the fiberglass solution, as long as it's heavy duty enough, which I'm assuming it is if they have a rooftop tint on it, it's way lighter, so you're not weighing down the back of your vehicle. And it's really clean. I like the color combo. In the back, you got the full ARB storage solution, a cooler fridge freezer combo that comes out and pulls out. Really awesome integrated design by ARB. Oh, I didn't even mention this. And a full kitchen setup. This folds up, tucks in, everything's complete and compact, and you still have room for your gear in the back. Really cool solution by ARB. We're in the Yakima booth with a Lexus GX550. Now, most of it is stock, but what's really cool is this rack system. Of course, you have the road shower on one side, which we've used a ton. But if you wanted to buy this from the factory, they actually make it with it, which is pretty cool. In the back, we got the full storage solution back here. If you are an OCD person who likes everything neat and tidy, this is what you want. Everything packed up, OCD on steroids. And then you have the full bike rack on the tow hitch, so you could just take that off. You don't have to worry about going around. I like the swing out version, so if you have to get back here, you don't have to take the bikes off and then take the rack off and then do all that. This is all integrated into one by Yakima. Sweet. Love the Lexuses. Quick note, the reason why we're putting Lexuses in the Toyota videos is because Lexuses are owned by Toyota. It's all kind of the same thing, and really they look the same, everything's about the same, so that's why this is in this video. We're in the Yakima booth with a 2024 Tacoma. The front is mostly stock, but in the back is where all the magic is happening. Not only do you have this Yakima rack that adjusts your height, so if you wanted to mount something underneath, you can make it even a little bit higher. You got the platform, you got the full 360-degree awning. A road shower right here, which is gonna warm up on the trail. But one thing I really like that I wanted to include in some of our rigs is this kitchen in a box. So literally everything you need in a kitchen fits in this box. You open it up on the trail, and then you have everything. Take this out, put it on your little table right here. I like how this also has a little kitchen sink with it. That all folds up into this, which is really rad. And then you just throw that into the back of your truck. Bike rack too, because you could have full-size mountain bikes on here without any worries. We've got a nice tonneau cover back there, and this isn't the swing out version, but it's still pretty rad that you could just take the whole thing off when you're done mountain biking and then you have a truck again. We're in the air design booth with a pretty cool Tacoma. What I like about this thing are these fenders right here. If you get it scratched up, you can replace them, and they're lower profile. It just really looks cool on this truck. Some other things that they have, this little hood scoop right here. I'm not sure what functionality that does. Maybe it's just something that looks cool. And then raceline wheels in bronze. You got the Ready Lift tubular upper control arms. The Vulcan shocks in there with some Toyota tires. This side step is just an OEM side step, but this back rack is Fab Fours is really cool. If you like this look, again, I'm gonna say it again, I like a tonneau cover in the back of my truck if I'm gonna have a rack like this, but the Fab Four bumper on the back is pretty rad too, and the one on the front. So all Fab Fours on the bumpers and the rack, which is rad, but I like these fenders a lot, air design. We're in the air design booth with a Tundra that doesn't have a ton of modifications. If you're someone who just wants an upgraded look from the factory bumper, this might be a good solution for you. And then the fender flares add some additional protection that you could pop on and off easily if those get all scratched up and messed up. Got some 37-inch Toyota tires on there with some Method or Raceline wheels, OEM side steps, and then the Fab Four rack on the back, similar to the Tacoma that we shot here earlier, is a cool solution that looks really heavy duty and streamlined, but tons of molly panel areas that you can load it up on if you wanted to. Air design. We're in the Expedition 1 booth with a pretty cool Land Cruiser. I like this heavy duty bumper. It still doesn't stick out. You might have to trim the body a little bit, but overall it's really heavy duty. This thing could take a beating. You got the integrated Warn winch right there, and then in the back, the Expedition 1 side steps are really clean. You could custom color these if you wanted to match the body of it. Up top, we got a high test rack system with a FSR rooftop tent, the diode light bar right there. And then in the back, this is one of the coolest solutions that Expedition 1 has, in my opinion. So this bumper system is really sick. We actually put it on our Tundra that we're gonna give away after the Sequoia. And what you do is you flip this up, this whole thing swings out, it locks in place, and you have a heavy duty bumper that you can mount a ton of stuff to without overloading the back of your rig. We put high tension springs on the back of our Tundra, leveled it out just fine. Overall, really cool solution if you want a full-size spare and a heavy duty rear bumper. We're in the TWG booth with a sick Lexus GX550. I am in love with these things. The wrap is a like crystal gray metallic. You have a full solar panel up top right here. SC Motorsports looks like the potential builder. Up top, you got the inspired Overland rooftop tent that looks like this whole thing flips over. It looks really low profile. Modded Toyotas on Instagram, roto packs on the side. I like this look, definitely adds some heavy duty heftiness. I'm not sure what rack that is, but check out this rear tire carrier. This both swings out, which makes it really low profile, and you got a Whittle Wada right here. You have the 5150 whips a little, probably either, you guys are gonna help me out with this. I'm assuming it's a mobile antenna extender, but I'm not 100% sure. On the side, you got some really clean side steps. Looks like those are up Overland potentially. I'm not 100% sure. And then we have the Dirt Life beadlock wheels, rad flow suspension, and this bumper is really clean. I like the aftermarket bumpers on the Lexus GX550s because they conform to the body lines, but really awesome job on this build. We're in the Expedition 1 booth with a Tacoma that is a really cool front bumper. You have the integrated bull bar, and you don't have to chop the body at all. That just is bolt on. You got a Warn winch. It looks like a come up Warn winch. And then in the back, and the rack is really cool. Not only do you have these really clean side steps that add some additional grip without having to have like the sandpaper type finish on it, you have got the mule rack up top, which is cool because you can mount just about anything up there. And then back here, I like this little smaller rack that's a little bit more compact, doesn't stick up super high. You could put a rooftop tent on here as long as it's like not a clamshell, but like it opens up on the side. And overall, pretty cool. I'd like to see a tonneau cover, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Those wheels are pretty sick too. These are fuel beadlock wheels that in bronze with like this color combo is really, really cool. The Icon Vehicle Dynamics booth with a wide body Tacoma here that has some fiberglass fenders. Of course, you got the Icon billet upper and lower control arms. What I really like about this setup is look at this bin pack lift for all you garage mechanics out there. Instead of having a full lift, you could just have that to lift up your truck. Pretty sweet if you ask me. The suspension is really where this thing shines, all long travel. Look how much flex you have in a Tacoma. That is wild. The reservoir on these things, oh my God, I don't know what stage that is, but it is absolutely insane. Maybe they should put a Hellcat in it, like that other one we saw earlier. It'd be pretty. We're in the Rhino rack booth with a Land Cruiser that has a really cool rack on it. Wheel and tire combo is like another Method racing wheels in bronze with the white finish on the truck. Looks pretty cool. Up top, we got this rack system that is super low profile. The one thing that I'd like to see is maybe something a little bridging this gap, which I bet they'll end up doing later, but not really a deal breaker when it comes to racks on it. Rhino rack. It's got a mountain bike in the back too, but overall pretty cool. Imagine driving down the road and seeing this amount of lights come at you. As I've always said, you can never have too much light. We're in the Diode Dynamics booth. Got some awesome pod lights, light bars galore going from amber. I love the backlit on them. On this Tacoma itself, we got Yokohama tires on it. This rack system is the Kuwait rack system that I think is super low profile. If you like Molly panels, this is where you want to be. Up top, we got the Kuwait rack as well, and in the back, really cool solution if you wanted to use this as a table. You could just put that on there. The DZ, and then also on the inside with the Molly panels, you can mount anything you want. You got a chase light right here, some Pelican cases up top, and of course, some Max tracks on this side. Really cool build. Diode Dynamics does really good lights, and this is a quality that you come to expect at SEMA. We're in the Pelican Cases booth with a Tundra that has something I don't think you've seen before, a Magnuson twin turbo kit. This upgrades the stock turbos, adds a cold air intake. I'm not sure what horsepower it's pushing, but I guarantee you if Magnuson did it, it's gonna be a huge upgrade. On this Tundra, we have the C4 Fabtech, or the C4 Fabrication front bumper with an integrated light bar, and of course a ton of Pelican cases, including this vault system. Lock all your stuff in. You know we love Pelican cases. We have it on our Sequoia, and this Tundra is a good representation of an awesome brand. We're in the Ironman 4x4 booth with a really awesome Land Cruiser. Check out this heavy duty bumper with the brush guard. You got some Ironman 4x4 LED lights right here, an integrated Warn winch. That might not be a Warn winch, but it is a winch. And then up top, a really sleek roof rack with the integrated light bar. This is not that common to actually have a little cutout and have it look that good. So I really like what they did there. The wrap looks fantastic. These are some heavy duty side step slash, skid plates that are gonna protect your body. And then we got Method racing wheels. Ironman also has a suspension setup. The IM 2.5 series looks like it's lifted. Those are 35-inch tires. And then nothing in the back, but I will say these new products for the Land Cruiser are pretty sick. 2 thumbs up. Ironman 4x4. We're in the Ironman 4x4 booth with a pretty sweet Tacoma. This thing has, similar to the Land Cruiser, a huge brush guard on this front bumper. This thing is heavy duty stainless steel. We have we have an integrated winch placement that doesn't have a winch in there right now. Some LED lights with the amber covers that you could take off. On the side, similar tubular design on the side steps that are, I've never seen tubulars this big, which is nice if you want to protect your body. Up top, a really sleek rack, and then this canopy system is really heavy duty, super rad. I love being able to have the pass-through and the storage on the other side. Ironman 4x4, really cool stuff. And real quick on the other side, this storage solution is cool. What I like about it is you close it and that light would turn off normally. You got some LEDs on here, but a ton of storage solutions, and you could see everything with the glass on there. I haven't seen that in a canopy system yet, and it's pretty cool. Overall, really awesome Tacoma build. Continuing in the Ironman 4x4 booth, we have this Tundra here, similar setup with a heavy-duty front bumper with the brush guard. I like how the tubes go all the way on the side, so if you get close to a rock, you don't have to worry about it banging into your vehicle. You could just replace this tube. It looks like it's all modular, but actually all goes down all the way to the side step, continuously one piece, which is pretty rad. This low profile rack might be one of my favorites. I love the lights on the side, so when you get to camp, you turn those on. And in the back here, you have a rack system that's heavy duty, a decked management system in the back to store all of your goodies and make sure those stay nice and clean. I like the Molly panels on here. And then in the back, we got an Ironman 4x4 360-degree awning. And then this bumper is super heavy duty. You don't have to trim any of the Tundra in order to fit this on. It actually wraps around the outside of the body, which I think is a really cool solution. So if you were to sell it in the future, you just take that thing off and put the stock bumper back on and no one's worried about you trimming it up. Really cool. I'm in the Overland vehicle systems with a pretty cool Tacoma. This thing is the iForce Max TRD off-road. Nothing too crazy about the rig itself, but what I really like is all the Overland accessories. We ran a Bushveld RTT on one of our giveaways in the past and it was fantastic, great value and really high quality product. I like this XD series Batwing awning that goes all the way around. You have a pass-through on the side and this whole system actually opens up so that flips over and you have a bed in the back, which is pretty cool. Molly panels on the back right here, and then there's a ton of gear and accessories and other solutions that Overland Vehicle Systems has on store here. Check them out at overlandvehiclesystems.com. But this canopy system is pretty rad, really cool. The Magnaflow and Caneburg booth with the Ivan Stewart Ironman Tacoma. This thing is sweet with KMC beadlock wheels, kinetic upper control arms, Dominator preload system, and kinetic rear trailing arms. Those are heavy duty billet aluminum, and of course a wrap job to match Ivan Stewart's ridiculously awesome racing Toyota back in the day. This is really cool. And of course we can't forget the Magnaflow exhaust, which sounds fantastic. We're at the Attica 4x4 booth with a Tacoma that is pretty sweet. Check out this front bumper. It's got the bull bar right here, integrated winch. Skid plate is still there, so nothing's gonna get banged up. On the side, we have the KMC wheels in white. That's definitely a look that some people like. Some people, not necessarily me. However, you got the Printu rack up top, the Diode Dynamics lights, some Pelican cases, and then check out this tent. This is the OVS Laus rooftop tent, Batwing awning, and then this is the Overland Vehicle Systems racks or canopy system. You pop that out, this thing opens up, you could access the back. And in the back, I like that you could still see throughout the back. This is FPV Overland, cool build, an awesome bumper in the back as well. Really cool. We're in the Kuwait booth with a Tacoma here that's pretty rad. I like this DV8 front bumper. You can see the fog lights are actually way down there, which I don't know how practical that is, but I do like how it's nice and compact. This rack is pretty sweet because you have the integrated, it looks like you could do maybe some Baja designs or other lights right here. I like that a lot. Low profile, very flat platform, and in the back, the Kuwait canopy system is really cool. It's just an interesting design, and if you see here, it's very thin, so lighter weight than some of the other canopies out there. You could have a rack up top, mount anything you want on there, and still have everything protected. I like the Molly panels on the inside. Kuwait always does good work. We want to work with them at some point in the future, but I like this canopy system. May not be as heavy duty per se, but also you're saving a ton of weight by having much thinner doors on this thing. Also in the Kuwait booth is another Tacoma with the same rack on it, but one thing I like about this rack in the back, it's not fully connected, so you just have two little bars right here that allow you to store gear on it without having a ton of additional weight. So if you want something that's lower profile with some Molly panels, but you don't want to necessarily go with like a full rack or a full canopy, this probably only adds 30 pounds to your rig and still could store a ton of gear and accessories. I like that solution a lot. We got an inspired Overland Lexus GX550 here that has some really cool modifications. The brand new Vulcan Racing wheels, the rays, these are really sick. Forged, really slim and awesome. The Total Chaos upper control arms. You got the King shocks, the 2.5s with the fin reservoir in order to have some more oil in there. You got the Pro Speed rack. I love this rack because of how low profile it is, super aerodynamic. And the rooftop tent is inspired Overland raised Stargazer tent that is super low profile, lightweight, and has a ton of room. That thing's gonna set up in an instant. In the back, mostly stock, but for the most part, the Lexus GX550 pretty much drives itself. Check them out, Inspired Overland. I'm in the Thule booth with an awesome Tacoma here. One thing I really like about it, the CA Tune off-road front bumper. I haven't seen them produce bumpers for the Tacoma yet, so this is the first time I've seen it. We've ran it on our Sprinter vans in the past. Awesome fabrication shop in California. You got the LP6s on there, and then on the side, you got the Icon Vehicle Dynamics. It looks like the Stage 10 kit with King shocks. Black Rhino wheels in bronze. I love these wheels. I'm not sure which ones they are. You got the Toyo Open Country 35s on it. The CA Tune side steps. Check out these side steps, guys. So you got the tubular stainless steel, but they don't stick out too much, and you're not carrying a ton of extra weight by having a full step right there. In the back, we got the Thule rack system that adjusts. You could get it in different heights, and then the Thule rooftop tent that folds over. Really cool with the full platform up here. Oh, underside grab handles, which is interesting. One thing that is kind of interesting about that is if it's on the side, sometimes you could hear it a little bit more, so maybe it's a little bit more aerodynamic. Integrated light bar on the front, and then overall, pretty classy Tacoma. CA Tune off-road and Thule. We've got the Tatoro 4Runner behind me. This is a really cool overlanding setup. I like this shower that pops up, and we're not using it, it folds in. The shower looks like we got a little portable water heater right here mounted on the side. The tent is an Overland King's rooftop tent. I like that over the standard clamshell because it gives you more room on the outside. Full-size spare tire. I like the spare tire mount that swings out, which is pretty cool. And then we got just a cool little shovel right there. Some jerry cans on the other side, and then Agency 6 grab handles. And of course, for lighting, you got the Elite Sentinel Triple R lights. Also advanced fiberglass concepts make this a little bit more wide body, gives you some additional clearance. Nice build. It's Fox shocks. We're in the Overland Experience area with a pretty cool Tundra. This thing has the DV8 front bumper right here with the integrated winch, the raised wheels by Vulcan Racing. These are pretty awesome. I like those a lot. You got the Icon Vehicle Dynamics tubular system with King shocks, CBI off-road side bumper. I really like this light mount with the Baja Designs light bar. I think that's really clean on the Tundra. And then on top of this thing is an Overland camper, a little pop-up camper that is super rad. Look how spacious the interior is. You have enough room for whatever you want. You could customize and modify it to your liking. You got a little Iceco fridge right there, a little microwave for good measure. You could do all sorts of fun stuff in it, but a really cool overlanding solution with a 360-degree awning. You go to your spot, you pop it up, you're good to go. No need to set up camp when it's already set up in the back of your truck. Like, I could foresee myself owning this Land Cruiser right here because it's, pretty basic on the outside, stock form, but then you got the Pro Speed rack, which I'm in love with this rack. This might be my favorite rack for the Land Cruiser now because it's so low profile and so slim. With the Inspired Overland rooftop tent, this thing is low profile too. I don't like the tents that are super heavy and really big, even though they may be comfortable. Still, it feels like you have a huge weight on the top of your rig. You got MOLLE panels on the side here. It looks like those are reinforced by some suction cups, but I think the biggest thing on here is that Pro Speed rack. I got the Off-Road Travel TV Tundra here with the biggest and most heavy-duty Expedition 1 bumper I've seen. Deers don't stand a chance with this rig. You got the Alpha Rex front headlights. Up top, we have the Lightner rack system with the integrated light bar, some storage racks up there, Expedition 1 side bumpers, or side steps as well. And in the back, you continue with a Lightner rack, a rooftop tent, a 360-degree Free Spirit Recreation awning, and then this is the same bumper that we have on our future Tundra. This flips up, comes out, the whole thing opens. You're able to have everything on the back of your rig so you don't have to store it underneath, especially if you have a 37-inch tire like we do on our next Tundra. We'll say the biggest thing that you need to look out for whenever you have a souped up overland vehicle is make sure that you have enough clearance in the springs because that thing looks a little, not a lot of clearance on it, I'm not gonna lie to you. Might need a little bit more. We got a previous gen Lexus right here with some cool modifications. You got the off-road bumper up front that wraps around the entire rig. You got the drop rack system, which allows you to store gear and then With a lever, you pull it down, the whole thing drops down, really easy to access. The rough country jerry cans are pretty cool. We got mud Vance wheels on it, and then of course the RS6 side steps. In the back we got a full-size spare tire, rooftop tent, everything you could want for overlanding in a really reliable vehicle, Lexus. All right, check out this V8 Land Cruiser, the older edition, but this thing has been through some stuff. You got a huge solar panel right here, made sure to charge up all your batteries. I feel like you could live off-grid in this thing for a while. You got the Factor 55 winch mount right here. Looks like a Warn winch behind that. Baja design lights from head to toe. The bumper is all Rhino lined. I'm not sure what bumper that is. Hand-cooked tires, and then the Westcott design side steps right here. An awesome winch, or an awesome rack with some side lights that will help you set up for camp. Even a little shower, some jerry cans, the Julka portable water heater, so you have a hot water shower. Full-size spare in the back. You got some jerry cans, a high lift jack, more max tracks, and a awning on the side. This is a really cool build that has definitely seen some dirt, and I love it. 2 thumbs up. I'm in the Attica 4x4 booth with a really cool 2017 4Runner. You don't see these very often at SEMA, but we got the ADV fiberglass fenders right here, the Attica front headlights, diode dynamics lights all the way around. I like these little accents, just little cool things that light up the campsite. Baja designs on the sides to make sure that everything on the trail can be seen. You got the Attica 4x4 side steps that are pretty cool. The water port, this thing is cool because I believe you can pressurize it and then it also warms up on the trail, so additional shower. You got a shower right there, the Go Overland rooftop tent, a Witawata in the back, and then look at this spare tire carrier that actually goes into the tow hitch, so you can take this thing off if you're not running it. Little propane tank, more stuff on the side. This thing was made for overlanding and I am a big fan. 2017 4Runner at Attica. All right, it's 3 o'clock on day 1 of SEMA. Yes, I filmed all of that in one day, as well as 5 other videos. Max has been here editing the whole time in the media room. We're about to post this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for Max, because if he doesn't get 10,000 likes, he's fired and never working with us again. It's his fault. Just kidding. We hope you guys like the content. If you still watch 45 minutes of video, God bless you. We love you. See ya.